Hello and welcome to Cookery with Mason Storm. In this video we're going to make some fettuccine alfredo. So we're going to make the fettuccine first and then the alfredo. My recipe is set up that it pretty much works out for one person. So multiply the recipe by how many people you have to get the correct amounts. So for our pasta we're going to need 1 egg and 100 grams of flour. 3/4 cup. For our alfredo sauce we're going to need 1/4 cup of butter, salt and pepper, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese grated, some nutmeg, and 1 cup of cream. Heavier cream works a lot better than lighter cream. The 35% whipping cream is probably the best. 1 clove of minced garlic. Now we got our mixing bowl. We'll pour in our flour and our egg. And then we'll gently mix it while it's in the bowl until the egg is kind of absorbed somewhat. Then we dump it on the counter and continue mixing, and eventually the egg and flour will really start to combine. At this point you're kneading the dough, and then you want to continue to knead the dough for about 10 minutes. The dough will take on a yellow consistency because of the eggs, and this is a good sign that it is combining properly. A decent stand mixer will be able to knead this type of dough as well. We can make the Alfredo without making the fettuccine, but homemade fresh noodles just taste far superior, and it is for that reason that I'm currently doing this. Now that we are at the end of our 10-minute kneading session, we're going to stop kneading the dough and set it aside for 10 minutes to let it rest. And during this time we can work on our Alfredo portion. Now we'll get our saucepan, we'll get it on the stove. We'll set our temperature to medium-low heat. And then we can add our butter to the saucepan and let it melt. And it doesn't take very long for this to happen. And once it's all melted, then we'll add our cream and our minced garlic, as well as our salt and pepper. There we go, get all of it in there. Then we'll just kind of stir it a little bit and we'll let it kind of heat up. The goal is to have it simmer and not boil, because if it boils then you can have kind of milk separation with the cream, and that's not very good at all. And I was out of my good cream, my heavy cream, when making this, so I had to use lighter cream. And lighter cream is more sensitive to the splitting, so I really babied my Alfredo sauce here. And it took far longer than it would have if I had the temperature a little bit higher and was using my heavy cream. So it's just kind of something to be aware of, that it will take longer if you use lighter cream. The other thing with lighter cream is that you can sometimes speed it up by adding a bit of a thickener like flour to your mixture as well, so then it doesn't take as long. Well, that's cooking away. Let's get our pasta maker out here. Already got it attached to my little cutting board, and I've got my pasta. I'm just trying to flatten it out here so that I can get it inside the pasta maker. If you don't have a pasta maker, you can do it with a rolling pin and then use a knife to cut it. I did that in another video. It makes really good pasta, but I was feeling a bit lazy this morning, so I decided to use the tool. Now once you get it going through the first couple runs and it starts to kind of go through easy, then you tighten it a little bit and just kind of keep going. And before you know it, you'll have the pasta to the correct thickness. And looping it through like I have here, where I connected the end of it to the start, really makes it a lot easier. I think it's the best way to do it, but I know I'll be criticized for that. Just got my flour here. I'm going to flour it a little bit. Thought I'd try flouring it through the roller. That didn't really work out, so I decided to just separate it and then flour one side. And then once I've got the whole side floured, I'm going to dust off a little bit of the excess. There we go. So I put a little bit on the other side as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through the fettuccine maker and put flour on the top side as I run it through, because I've already floured the other side of it. This part goes pretty quick once it's all flattened out and going through the fettuccine maker. And there we go. We're all done. And we have our nice and lovely pasta. So now it's time to get some water on the stove. Although maybe we should have did this a little bit earlier. When it comes to Alfredo sauce, you cook it until it's to the thickness you want. And I'm really babying my Alfredo here because I'm using the lighter cream and I really don't want my cream to be ruined. So it's pretty much done now though. So I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese. Then I'm going to mix it up a little bit to make sure it's all good and combined and melted in. And then I'm going to put my nutmeg in. And nutmeg is kind of the final step. Usually you have it off the heat at this point. You put your nutmeg in and give it a little bit of a stir. But a little bit more nutmeg. I love this stuff. It's delicious. And then we give it a bit of a stir and take it off the heat and we're done. Okay, now we're back to our boiling water. Toss the pasta in and let it cook away. The reason why it's all the white layer on the top, that's all the flour that was on the pasta, so it makes it really hard to see anything. So I'm going to probably cut this section a little bit shorter than the other ones. And fresh pasta, it cooks really quick. So a couple minutes in, pull the noodle out, bite into it. See if it's al dente, and if it is, you're good to go. Mine is just about ready, so let it cook a little longer, then pull it off, and we're done. Drain, mix noodles with fettuccine, and serve. I usually just pour the fettuccine on top. Let me know in the comments below how you make your fettuccine Alfredo. And if you like this, push the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of this content. And until next time, stay awesome.